The Democratic Republic of Congo is one of the poorest countries on Earth. But it holds the world's richest deposits of cobalt. Now the race is on to mine the metal essential to making electric car batteries.
This is what people in this region are digging and dying for.
It's dangerous work. The massive industrial mines, mostly Chinese-owned, are a law unto themselves.
People are dying for lack of safety.
Corruption and violence are rampant. Small-scale or artisanal miners who work on the fringes of the big mines risk arrest, even death. Many are children. This report exposes the brutal cost of our green energy revolution.
Are we under arrest?
It's a story many don't want told.
Put your camera down, camera down, camera down.
70% of the world's cobalt comes from the Congo. The country is deeply troubled. Decades of conflict have destroyed its economy and its health and education systems. Millions live on less than $2 a day. As demand for this metal has surged, Congolese have flooded into the south of the country, looking to make a buck from the boom. Some have been lucky to find jobs in the big mines. Most, like Mama Natalie and her sons John and King, scratch out a living digging for cobalt in the waste that the industrial mines discard.
Paka vile kama unaenda mimoyo. Unakalakasheka unapata watoto wanakula kama akupata. Banalala paka vile na njala.
Mama Natalie and her family are artisanal miners, workers who extract the metal by hand in illegal or semi-regulated sites. These miners produce up to 30% of the Congo's cobalt. Every day, before the security guards arrive, they climb the embankments of this Chinese-owned mine and join hundreds of other families in search of cobalt.
Kaya tunapata bulongo wa kusampisha, ndio nabo wanaanza kuitusakia bulongo na kulokota tule twenye tumamatieri.
They're trespassing, so they have to work fast. Security often beat, arrest, and even shoot artisanal miners.
Ile haina maisha ya mzuri kwa watoto. Ni kupusa kai.
Almost as soon as they begin, it's time to leave. The mine's security teams are on their way. When the patrollers break for lunch, Natalie and her boys will dig for another hour. If they find enough cobalt, they'll eat tonight.
Joyeux anniversaire.
In Congo, artisanal mining can be a deadly business.
I've just received on my phone a really disturbing video. It shows a mine that has just collapsed and it buried alive 6, 7, 8 miners. And I'd heard that these kinds of cave-ins happen all the time in this region, but even still, it's really quite confronting to see it on video like that. And what's more, I'm now actually on my way to visit a person whose story I know is just going to rip my heart out.
I'm on my way to meet a mother who lost her 13-year-old son in a similar accident.
Jambo, habari. Nzuri sana, salama. We're looking for Mama Nicole. Do you know Mama Nicole?
Yes.
Can you show us? Would you mind showing us? Could you show us? Yeah?
Yes, I can show you.
Ah, Mama Nicole. Jambo. Jambo, habari. Nzuri sana. Michael. This is Karine. Can you tell me his name? Deomba. He's a really handsome young guy. What was he like?
Hakuwa ni mwanamke. Potea kazi ya nyumba, kazi ya vyote tu vya nyumba. Yeye ndio kwa mama wa nyumba. Anisaidia vya mingi. Yeye ndio ananitoka tu.
Helped me a lot, but I can't understand how he just listened to me.
Diomba was Mama Nicole's firstborn.
Niko mumisa deja banitosha mumisa. Banionyesha sasa mtoto afanye vile maana. Pana sasa pana shendake mkariera, mimi narudia tena.
I'm so sorry.
Mama Nicole and her family live right on the edge of the giant Chinese-owned Congo-Dongfang International Mining Concession, also known as CDM. Deomba collected cobalt in the waste on the edge of the mine. When the mine embankment collapsed, he and his friend were buried alive.
Is that area protected at all? Are there fences around it that stop children getting in there?
There is no fences.
Did the mining company take any responsibility?
They did not.
Nothing.
Yes.
Under Congolese law, the company has an obligation to ensure the mine doesn't pose a threat to the communities around it.
When you look around here, there's just children everywhere. You know, 3, 4, 5-year-olds everywhere. And this mine is 750 meters away, and there are no fences protecting this community full of children from what is obviously a very dangerous mining area.
The body of Deomba was dug up and brought home for a proper burial. His family haven't yet been able to afford a cross, and his grave remains unmarked. The CDM mine is a subsidiary of the Chinese multinational Zhejiang Huayu Cobalt, one of the world's biggest cobalt producers. For years, Huayu supplied cobalt to battery makers, who in turn supplied companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Volkswagen. In 2016, Amnesty International concluded Huayu was probably buying cobalt from artisanal mines where children worked in hazardous conditions. The company pledged to stop the practice. But I've heard CDM is still doing it.
All right.
The Chinese industrial miners are notoriously secretive. Getting answers from them is difficult.
Gotta make sure that that doesn't poke out.
I'm putting a hidden camera in my shirt.
That's better.
I'm going to pay CDM a visit.
Do you think they're going to check me at the gate? Okay, let's go.
Outside CDM's main cobalt depot, I approach the gate.
Pour faire visite ici, oui, il fallait aller au niveau de notre bureau supérieur. Oui, coopérer avec les Chinois.
The depot is protected by presidential guardsmen, soldiers deployed by the highest echelon of the Congolese government. And it's clear I won't be allowed inside.
And I'm curious, does CDM buy artisanal mined cobalt?
Oui, crédit, produit cobalt. Oui, précédent. Là, on a ça, on a bien.
CDM is buying artisanal cobalt from outside of their own property.
Yeah, this is what the guards are telling.
If what the guard says is true, then CDM has breached Congolese law, which bans buying cobalt from unregulated artisanal miners. And it's betrayed its clients, who have policies against child labour. We asked Huayu for a response, but we haven't heard back. Huayu has also pledged to improve the lives of the people who live around its mines. But in Mama Nicole's village, there's little evidence of that. She and her family can barely afford the cross for her son's grave.
Mama.
En route to the cemetery, we're stopped.
The chief is coming.
Behind me over there, where that crowd is gathered, is the chief of this district, and he is trying to extort a bribe to allow Mama Nicole to go and place a cross on the grave of her son.
We pay the bribe. Only then are we allowed to continue.
Huh?
500 meters from where Mama Nicole's son is buried, we find this mine, teeming with children. It's Congolese-owned. Government attempts to stop children working in the mines have been made to appease big battery buyers like Microsoft, Apple, and Tesla. But they're not having much impact here. Most of the boys here are between 12 and 16 years old. Their job is to haul sacks of cobalt-rich dirt from the pit onto the trucks.
It takes 1,200 sacks of cobalt to fill that truck, and this crew of boys fill that truck twice a day.
A crew of even younger boys, 5- and 6-year-olds, collect the sacks and return them to the pit.
Oh my gosh, that has got to